Welcome to this class. In this class we study about instruments for clinical laboratory test on blood cells and chemical test. See, instruments for clinical laboratory test on blood cells means here we know the to detect the we are performing several types of blood test to find out the group of the blood cells and which type of group: A positive, B positive, B negative, AB positive, O negative, O positive, etc. For that also we need to perform a particular blood test on a blood cells. So what are the different types of blood cells? Red blood cells and white blood cells. So here we are performing the different types of blood test in laboratory. We are performing different types of tests on the blood cells, and also the different types of chemical test. See, these chemical tests are used to find out the chemical components like sodium, potassium, etc. are there in the blood cells, in the blood, which are dissolved in the blood. So we need to find out the which type of chemicals are there in your blood. Say if some person is having much of sodium, if sodium is higher, his blood pressure may rise. If a person is having the lesser sodium, his blood pressure may low, and he is having the imbalance, so that due to the imbalance he may fall down or he may be get exhausted. So these different types of materials which is there, or different types of minerals which is there in your blood, it forms a, it will be a very critical in determining the health of a particular person. So that is why we are determining the different types of clinical laboratory test on blood cells and chemical test. So okay, now first we see instruments for clinical laboratory test on blood cells. So here we see about the instruments. So first the clinical laboratory is responsible for analyzing patient specimens. That is, specimens means blood cells, blood specimen, which is a particular lab technician will take from your body sample of blood. This and what that specimen will do, this specimen provides the information that help in diagnosis of a disease. If any diseases is there, or you can take if a particular person is diabetic. So if you take a blood sample of blood from a person and you analyze, you can find the concentration of glucose in the blood, and from that, if the concentration of glucose is 90, is below 90 gram per milliliter, then he is not having the sugar before fasting. And if it is above 120 milligram per milliliter, then he is having the sugar. So like that we can determine, we can help in the diagnosis of a disease. The hospital department that performs these functions may be called the Department of Clinical Pathology or the Department of Laboratory Medicine. So where this test is performed. The major section of clinical laboratory are chemistry, hematology, microbiology sections, and blood bank. So major sections are hematology. Hematology, it is related to the blood cells, and microbiology section, it results in detailed study of the blood cells, and the blood bank, that is storing the blood for an emergency purpose. So here we can see this is how the samples are being tested, and here we can have a tube here. We can see a tube here. In this tube the samples are being collected. Okay, this is what we call as the microscope. So here we can see the blood vessel consists of different types of cells, that is red blood cells, white blood cells, etc. Okay, so this you can see here, and the formed elements of blood. What are the formed elements? Red blood cells, platelets which is responsible for clotting of your blood when a particular wound is occurred in your body. And that is white blood cells. White blood cells, what are different types of white blood cells? Monocytes, lymphocyte, eosinophil, basophil and neutrophil. These are all which you studied in your P degree course or +2 course. So you can see the test on blood cells. Blood cells have an important functions in our body. Red blood cell is used to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, the white blood cells are a part of the body's defense against infections and foreign substance. The white blood cells is protect the body from the external virus or external infections. The platelets are involved in clotting of blood. So this you know this is the basic things which you have which you will be knowing after your this will be dealt in your 10th standard. Okay. Then the whole blood is centrifuged. That is, it consists of all. That is, a whole blood consists of white blood cells, red blood cells, etc. The blood cells sediment and form a packed column at the bottom of the test tube. Say we can have a test tube. In the bottom, it will sediment. The bottom of this test tube, the blood cell will come and sediment. The most of this column consists of red blood cells, with other cells forming a thin layer on a top of the red cells. So what are the other cells? What are the other cells? That is white blood cells. White blood cells form a thin layer on the red blood cells. So the white blood cells come and sediment on the red blood cells. So red blood cells are the major component. So on that red blood cells, the white blood cells and form and sediment. The volume of the packed red cells is called as the hematocrit. The volume of the packed red cells are called as the hematocrit. The hematocrit is expressed as percentage of total blood volume. It is the hematocrit is a percentage of total blood volume. If the blood cells per cubic milliliter of the blood is known, if the number of red blood cells per cubic milliliter of the blood is known, the number of hematocrit can be used to calculate the mean cell volume, that we call as the MCV. Mean cell volume is the number of cells present in the particular volume, so that you can find out if the number of cells per cubic milliliter of the blood is known. Cubic milliliter the blood, and then we know that our body, our heart will pump 3.5 to 5 liters of blood in a what? So we know that the cardiac output, the heartbeat into stroke volume. So the stroke volume is 3.5 to 5 liter per minute. It will pump the blood from. So in a particular 1 liter of the blood, so we need to find out the how many red blood cells are there in 1 cubic millimeter of the blood. Then we can find out the mean cell volume. The active component in the red blood cell is the hemoglobin, the concentration of which is expressed in grams per 100 ml. So hemoglobin is the active components in the red blood cell, which is responsible for in the red color of your blood, of the red blood cells. The hematocrit can be determined by this following 3 steps. So first, what they do, collect the blood sample into a capillary tube. So they collect the blood sample in a capillary tube, close the one end of the tube with a plastic sealing. See, it is being closed with the one end of the plastic tubing, and it is being collected in the red blood cell. The tube is spun 3 to 5 times in a special high speed centrifuge to separate the blood cells from the plasma. Spun means it is being rotated, so that to separate the blood cells from the plasma. so that you can see the plasma is being separated. Plasma is there, WC platelets are there, and red blood cells are there. So like this, what they do, they will spin it for 3 to 5 minutes, and then they will separate the red blood cells, white blood cells, and plasma. So now we see automatic blood cell counter. So here we are having a chamber. So in that the red blood cells are being diluted. So here what we get, the red bloods. So this is being taken out, and this red blood cells are being diluted, and it is being applied to this chamber. So here what happens, here we are having two electrodes. So one is positive electrode and another is negative electrode, and these red blood cells consist of a 40 micrometer in diameter, and this will pass through this aperture, red blood cells moving through the orifice, and this movement of the red blood cells causes the what, similar to your movement of your electron. So once the electron moves through one electrode to the other electrode, then there is a flow of current. So similarly here the red blood cell moves from one electrode to the other electrode placed in the out of the section, and electrode placed into the inside of the section. So this movement of these red blood cells causes a conductivity meter to read the conduction. So this conductivity meter will give the output to the pulse shaper, then to the gate, then to the counter. So this volume measurements, it will determine how many volumes of red blood cells are being collected inside this section. Okay, so we see in detail. So you can see here the aperture current, external electrode, internal electrode, blood cell suspension. So here we are having aperture bar. So in this aperture the blood cells are being transported. So we can see the aperture 80 into 100 micrometer. 80 into 100 micrometer. I told you this is the total width of this, total opening width of this aperture. I told you the blood cell is of 40 micrometer, so it can easily pass away into this aperture. So blood cell will pass from one electrode to the positive electrode to the negative electrode, and this passing will causes a particular aperture current. This current will cause your conductivity meter to read this one, and it will give us to the pulse shaper, then to the gate, then to the counter. So total blood cell volume A plus B plus C. So here you can see A is the one blood cell, B is the one blood cell, C is the one blood cell. So total is, you can see all the blood cells may not be of same diameter, some may vary. That is why the diameter is 80 to 100 micrometer. So, okay, the diluted blood samples diluted with saline solution is drawn through a small orifice opening by means of suction pump. The diameter of the orifice is less than 100 micrometer. The electrodes are placed such that one is surrounding the chamber and the other in the suctioned blood. The electrodes are attached with the conductivity meter. Before suctioning, the resistance of the electrode arm is equal to R. So the resistance is kept constant, and the clinical laboratory used for analyzing patient specimen, which provides information that help in the diagnosis of disease. So this is that same thing used for analyzing of patient specimen. So here we can find out, by using this instrument, we can find out total number of red blood cells in a particular specimen. On that one, we can able to see if a person is sick. See, please listen to this one. If a person is sick, then his red blood cell count will be lesser. A red blood cell count is lesser. If a person is healthier, his red blood cell will be of normal red blood cell counting. So the blood cells have an important functions in our body. They are the blood cells are important functions in our body. They are RBC, WBC, and platelets. Active component in the blood cells is the hemoglobin. A diluted blood cells is drawn through a small opening by means of a suction pump, that is automatic blood cell counter. So this is the diluted blood cell is drawn through this small aperture, and from that aperture we can find the able to find the total number of red blood cells crossing that aperture. അതായത് എത്രമാത്രം റെഡ് ബ്ലഡ് സെൽസ് അതിൻ്റെ ആ ഒരു അപ്പർച്ചർ ക്രോസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു അതിനനുസരിച്ചിട്ട് അതിൻ്റെ കറണ്ട് ഇൻഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യും. ആ കറണ്ടിനെ നമ്മൾ ഡീകോഡ് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ കറക്റ്റായിട്ട് എത്ര റെഡ് ബ്ലഡ് സെൽസ് ഉണ്ടെന്ന് കാണാൻ പറ്റും. So next one, so this finishes out the instrument for clinical laboratory test on blood cell. This instrument is also called as the Coulter meter. സെയിം സോ എക്സാമിന് ചോദിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ ഒരു ഡയഗ്രാം വരയ്ക്കുക, വരച്ചിട്ട് അതിൻ്റെ എക്സ്പ്ലനേഷൻ അത് എഴുതുക. നെക്സ്റ്റ് വൺ വി സി കെമിക്കൽ ടെസ്റ്റ്. സോ ഈ നേരത്തെ ചെയ്യുന്ന ടെസ്റ്റ് എന്താണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? നേരത്തെ ചെയ്യുന്ന ടെസ്റ്റ് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്തത്, സോ ദി ഏർലി ടെസ്റ്റ് we are able to count the number of red blood cells. Now we need to see what are the different types of chemical components are present in the red blood cells. So say sodium, potassium, etc. So the blood is a complex fluid that contains numerous substances in a solution. The determination of the concentration of this substance is performed by a specialized chemical techniques. The commonly performed chemical blood tests are spectrophotometer and flame photometer. So these two tests are being performed. One is spectrophotometer and flame photometer. The spectrophotometer uses the spectrum, that is light, and flame photometer uses the heat which is being burnt, flame. First we see the spectrophotometer. Spectrophotometer works by passing a light beam through a sample to measure the light intensity of the sample. Say the light beam is passed through the sample to measure the light intensity. The light intensity means if you are passing a particular monochromatic light into the sample, this sample may absorb some of the light and it will pass only the particular light intensity of the light. So the light passed through the sample, the intensity may vary. Depending upon that, we can able to determine the total number of particles present in the sample. Say if the sample consists of more number of red blood cells, that is these red blood cells may absorb this particular light, this particular wavelength of the light, and it may emit only particular, so the absorption may increase. So that is why what we receive from the sample will decrease. So like this one we can able to find out. So light from the halogen lamp is passed through the entrance slit S1 and incident on the concave reflector. The concave reflector focuses the light on a prism to disperse the light. So we can see in this one, the light from this one is being forward to the concave collimator, and then it is being passed to the prism, and this prism will generate this is a monochromator. It will generate a particular wavelength of the light, say yellow. This yellow light is being passed. IO is the light entering and IT is the light leaving here. So this leaving light IT will not be equal to IO. The intensity of the IT, the intensity of the light in the IT will not be equal to the IO. If it is equal, then the particular sample is not there. The red blood cells 0 ആയിട്ടുണ്ടാവണം. അങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ the IO is equal to IT ആവത്തുള്ളൂ. സോ IT അൺഈക്വൽ ആവുന്ന സമയത്ത് എപ്പോഴാണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ റെഡ് ബ്ലഡ് സെൽസ് ഉണ്ടാവും. ആ റെഡ് ബ്ലഡ് സെൽസ് ഈ പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഇൻറ്റൻസിറ്റി ഓഫ് ലൈറ്റിനെ അബ്സോർബ് ചെയ്യും. അബ്സോർബ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അതിനുശേഷം അത് ഒരു എമിറ്റ് ചെയ്യും, അതായത് അത് ഒരു റിഫ്ലക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യും. ആ റിഫ്ലക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ലൈറ്റാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഐ ടി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഈ ഒരു ഐ ടി ആണ് ഇത് ഇവിടെ ഡിറ്റക്ട് ചെയ്യും. സോ detector photocell. So detector photocell detect the light which is passed through this sample, and this is being put it in a digital display of the meter. So from the reflector, the light beam is directed to the sample through a narrow exit slit S2, and a sensitive photon detector D detects the transmitted light. It gives an electrical output corresponding to the intensity of the transmitted light. The amplifier amplifies the output from the detector, and finally the indicator indicates the concentration of the substance. By rotating the prism, the measurements can be made at different wavelengths. So you can see that by rotating this prism, either you can pass the yellow light, or either you can pass the red light, like the VIBGYOR, VIBGYOR, violet, indigo, blue, green, orange, like that you can pass the different types of light wavelength. So this you can have by rotating this prism. So we can see in detail the principle of the experiment. Spectrometer consists of a light source, a monochromator that picks out a light outside. So this prism is called as the monochromator. Monochromator means it will select only one particular wavelength, one particular light. Say your for example of a monochromator, you can say that in your street light you are using a particular bulb called your sodium vapor lamp. So sodium vapor lamp is a monochromatic. Why it is monochromatic? It will emit only the yellow, it will emit only the which type of rays it will emit, light it will emit, it will emit only yellow light. Similarly your incandescent lamp is a monochromator. Why incandescent lamp is a monochromator? It will emit only yellow light, so it will not consist of, so the white light consists of all the lights, violet, indigo, blue, green, white, yellow, orange. See, these all lights are composed in a particular light called white light. So this is in the white. So once this light is being splitted in a particular wavelength, so then and taken, so that we call as a monochromator. So the collimator, it will focus us on the monochromator, and from the monochromator it is being passed to the sample and to the detector from to the absorption spectrum. Spectrometer consists of a light source, monochromator that picks out light of a certain wavelength, a sample holder for sample solution to measure and detect for measuring the intensity of the incident light and transmitted light through the sample solution. So ultraviolet rays is having 200 to 400 nanometer. So we can see the visible light, different wavelengths. So next one we see the flame photometer. So see the spectrometer, from this spectrometer we can able to detect the total number of components, number of particles, number of red blood cell particles which is there by simply passing the light through the sample through a monochromator. So okay, next we see about the flame photometer. Flame photometer is used to analyze urine or blood in order to determine the concentration of potassium, sodium and lithium. Whenever a sample solution is sprayed into a flame, the sample molecules are converted into a gaseous molecule. These gaseous molecules are decomposed into a gaseous atom. Some gaseous atoms absorb the heat and energy from the flame and get excited to the higher energy levels. These atoms return to a ground state by emitting a radiations of its own characteristics wavelength. The intensity of the emitted light is related to the concentration of the element. That is, if you are having say in your blood sample, say this blood sample is being diluted and is being sprayed to the flame, and once it is being diluted and it is sprayed to the flame, then what happens? It will being converted into the gaseous state. From that gaseous state, so a particular atom will absorb this heat energy, and this heat energy is being absorbed and it will pass to the higher energy levels, and in this higher energy levels it is unstable. In this higher energy level, this particular sodium is unstable, so that it tries to return to its the ground state by emitting a particular wavelength. So this wavelength, this light is being absorbed, this light, so the intensity of the light emitted by the sodium by returning to the ground state after absorbing the energy from the flame is being analyzed, and from that we can find out the intensity of the light emitted and is related to the concentration of the sodium ions. Usually sodium will emit the lights, the color of the sodium will be yellow. For potassium, the wavelength is 4047 angstrom, that is violet, and for sodium the wavelength is 5819 angstrom, that is yellow. I told you the sodium, it is of yellow, and for lithium it is 6708 angstrom, that is red. So like that we can get the different types of transmitted light, and with the color also you can able to detect. See here, this is that one, this is the instrument for flame photometer. So here we are having sample air from the compressor, it will be compressed and is being fed to the nebulizer. So nebulizer, it will spray to the flame, and from the spray the monochromata filter, it will filter it out and it being passed to the lens, and from the pass to the lens through it will be fed to the detector and recorder. So the nebulizer converts the solution into mist form. So nebulizer, I think you are very familiar when you are cold, so you will be taking നിങ്ങളൊരു ആവി പിടിക്കത്തില്ലേ, ആവി, ആ ഒരു ആവിയുടെ ഫോമിലേക്ക് എത്തിക്കുന്നതാണ് ഈ നെബുലൈസർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അത് ലിക്വിഡിനെ ഗ്യാഷ്യസ് ഫോമിലേക്ക് കൺവേർട്ട് ചെയ്യുക. So like this, from this class I have almost included, I am almost covered your all topics. Only one topic is left, is the telemedicine, that I will take after that I will take on Thursday. Okay, fine.